The South Pacific covers an area of some 15 million square miles, and among the countless islands in this vast half of an ocean are Fiji, New Caledonia, New Hebrides, Papua New Guinea, British Solomon Islands, Nauru, Gilbert and Ellice Islands, Western Samoa, American Samoa, French Polynesia, Niue, Cook Islands, and the Kingdom of Tonga.
Fiji, 1963. Fiji is my country, the proud host of the first South Pacific Games. The idea of the Games started in Rabaul in 1959, when one of Fiji's representatives at the South Pacific Commission Conference, Dr. Sahu Khan, put forward the suggestion of holding regional games in the South Pacific. His idea was that teams from the 18 territories involved would come together, and in getting to know each other, would come to understand each other better. The suggestion was adopted, and 2 years later, 9 territories met at the Commission's headquarters in Noumea, formed the committee, and drew up a draft constitution, at the same time inviting my country, Fiji, to be the host territory for the first Games. This meeting also laid down that 3 sports had to be held, namely athletics, association football, and lawn tennis, but that other games commonly played in the South Pacific were to be added. The vastness of the area means that many and varied are its people, and the games they enjoy. Many of our communities are village type and scattered, so the committee decided to try and introduce games that had possibilities to suit them. And as women are perhaps just as sport-minded as men, there had to be as many events as possible that they could take part in. So in addition to the original 3, 7 more events could be played. Indoor basketball, 7-a-side basketball, boxing, rugby, volleyball, swimming, and table tennis. These 10 events appear to offer a good variety and could just be got through in 10 days. And in each case, not less than 4 territories had said that they would take part. Invitations were sent to 18 countries. 5 were unable to send teams, but the remaining 13 countries accepted firmly, and from preliminary figures, it looked as if about 600 athletes and officials would be coming to Suva.
In late August, all roads seemed to lead to Suva, the capital city situated at the water's edge on the southeast tip of the colony's largest island, Viti Levu, a busy industrious city of some 40,000 inhabitants. Its wharves ready and waiting to receive those of our 600 guests who would be coming by sea. Some of the first to arrive came from the British Solomon Islands in the Coral Queen. Mr. Coyne, the Director of Organisation, is there to greet them. And our own people there too. In the wake of the Coral Queen comes the Ao Nu with our near neighbours from Tonga. While the team from the Gilbert and Ellice Islands got a lift from the Navy in HMS Cook. And within a very short time were being taken to their quarters. Many came by air, arriving at Nausori Airport some 15 miles out of Suva by Heron of Fiji Airways and by DC-3 of Polynesian Airways. Games officials are there to meet each team. This team from Western Samoa is met by Mr. John Common, Chairman of the Organising Committee. Athletes are taken by special buses to the Games village. Accommodation is provided in the Nasinu Teachers Training College on the main King's Road 7 miles outside Suva. A spacious country setting with plenty of amenities for training and relaxation. Also at the Suva Grammar School at Veuto and the Grammar School Hostel St. Stephen's. Consequently, the games had to be arranged to coincide with the school holidays. Meanwhile, final preparations are being made. Almost before they have unpacked, the athletes are at work. At the Veuto village, they have immediate use of the grammar school swimming pool. Training begins. For the athletes, the playing fields are ready with room to spare for all those muscles to get back into trim after travelling. The Western Samoans. And the Cook Islands. A note of formality now. Teams and officials are invited to Government House to the garden party given by His Excellency the Governor and Lady Maddox. On arrival, each guest is personally introduced to His Excellency and Lady Maddox before moving down onto the spacious lawns to meet other guests. French elegance is evident in the Tahitian teams. The Fiji police band, led by Bandmaster Duncan, add to the atmosphere. And a splash of colour is provided by the arrival of the Tongan team. The Governor and Lady Maddox mixed freely with their guests and talked to many team members. The band beating the retreat bring to a close a memorable afternoon. Everyone seems to be coming to Suva, bent on securing a place at the Games for themselves and their families. A cosmopolitan flavour is added to our capital as visitors, competitors and local people fill the streets. Special ticket offices are set up in the centre of the city. And from every aspect, the final details receive the closest attention. Opening day, 29th of August, 1963. Last touches are applied to the main venue, Buckhurst Park, on the outskirts of Suva. Until a few days before the start of the Games, the field was flooded by 8 inches of rain. Much of the final preparation had to wait until the weather cleared just before opening day. Now the sun shines at last. The ground tracks are ready for rugby, soccer, basketball and field and track events. Empty stands, refreshment shelters and everything waits to greet the crowds arriving from Suva. With an air of expectancy they came from many parts of the South Pacific and from towns and villages of Fiji, all with the same purpose, to see and enjoy the first South Pacific Games. The Fijian coat of arms watches over them as they come through the main gates of the park. Traditionally Fijian is the girl who smilingly checks tickets. The time has come, and after weeks of rainy weather, a sunny sky heralds the opening of the game. The bands of the Fiji military forces and the Fiji police amalgamate for the opening ceremony in a spectacular and colourful marching display. The Guard of Honour enters the arena. The inspection is carried out by His Excellency the Governor. The competing teams march into the centre of the arena, led by American Samoa. Then the New Hebrides. The French Polynesians, followed by New Caledonia. The Tongan team. And as each team comes into the arena, its territory flag is broken at the head of one of 13 masts above the open pavilion. Western Samoa. The British Solomon Islands. The Cook Islanders. Gilbert and Ellis. Nauru, followed by Niue and Papua New Guinea, with Fiji as the host team taking last place. 13 teams, each formally introduced to His Excellency, and each being greeted by the thousands of onlookers. In the arena, 13 more flags stand as the background to the Games flag, which was donated and is being presented by Mr. Martin, Chairman of the Games Council. The flag that is to fly as a symbol of coming together in friendly competition for the next 10 days. The flag that will be passed on to the future after its tour of duty at the head of the main flagstaff at Buckhurst Park. The historic moment is here. The flag is broken and the games are open. Over 600 competitors and more than 9,000 spectators and distinguished guests are here for this colourful and spectacular ceremony. Some entertainment now with our traditional combination of song and mime, the Mehe, enjoyed by everyone as they await the first event, which is a soccer match between Papua New Guinea and Fiji.
And with Fiji on attack, it's a shot by Zikar Ali, stopped very nicely saved by Saveni. Works his way out of the ruck, kicks left-footed. And now it's Karufe on the Papua New Guinea left wing, who gets a very weak centre in. It's collected by Savo in the Fiji goal, and he clears left-footed up the field. And here Zikar Ali has worked his way out onto the left wing. He's going to attempt to beat the fullback, beats the fullback on the outside, passes a nice pass right straight across the goal to Sadish Dutta. Sadish Dutta plays about with it, doesn't shoot and misses his chance. Now to Simmons. Simmons trying to dribble his way through, and again he's neatly tackled and loses the ball. The draw for the 6 knockout matches of the soccer took place before the teams arrived at Suva. And here a shot by Zikar Ali, trying his utmost to score, but he fails. And it's cleared away by Ruben, the Papua New Guinea centre-half. Another shot, this time by Sami Nair, but collected by Saveni, thrown away upfield. And Saveni, another nice save. Saveni was very active throughout this match. Ruben again working that ball away, clears left-footed up the field, headed back by John Lau, goes to Clark. And Egok with the ball, tries a shot blocked by the Papua New Guinea defence, and Sami Nair now has the ball on the wing. The corner, goes begging, a wild shot, turned aside by Saveni for a corner. Another shot straight over the bar from a scoreless position, but finally a shot by Zikar Ali scores for Fiji to win 3-1.
Tennis is played on the freshly resurfaced all-weather courts on Albert Park, where a stand for 250 people has been erected. Excellency the Governor and Lady Maddox on the final day watch a very close match between New Caledonia and Fiji, in which players from New Caledonia take the first 3 matches, but Fiji come back to draw level at 3-all. women go on to win the match and the gold medal for Fiji. The strength of lighting precluded any film shots of actual swimming events, as these were all held in the late evening. But a lot of preliminary work was done on the pool, including extending the supply line further into the sea to ensure clear water and the provision of additional seating for 250 people. Into the 55-yard-long pool go the swimmers to train in the 4 styles allowed for in the schedule. These sessions were held morning and evening, with extra practice periods in fresh water at the Vayuto pool. In all, 76 officials were used, with particular regard being paid to timekeeping. 3 special stopwatches on each lane, a chief timekeeper, and 3 reserves. Here are swimmers from the New Caledonian team practicing the starts, strokes and turns they will use in the relay race. All swimming events were well attended and provided much excitement. As in all the competitions during the games, there was a spirit of friendly rivalry. Boxing is introduced by a curtain raiser between chop suey and Madras curry, weighing in at 50 pounds. And with that much weight to give away, well, what does it matter if you are debating about the rules? Putting the weight up a bit, featherweight Toma of American Samoa versus Gurumuti of Fiji. 44 boxers from 5 territories took part in the bout. The Cook Islands, with only 6 entries, being particularly successful, winning 2 gold and 3 silver medals. Almost as many officials were required as there were boxers. 36 were used over the 3 nights of boxing. Even so, there were not as many referees and judges as we would have liked to carry out the job properly. For all but about a dozen of the competitors, this was the first time they had boxed under international rules, and styles varied almost as much as the standards of performance, which didn't make the referee's job any easier.
As host to the first South Pacific Games, my Fijian people entertained their guests traditionally. On the playing field at the Ratu Sir Lala Sukuna Memorial School, territory teams, together with our Great Council of Chiefs, look on as the Fiji Military Forces Band, led by its well-known Director of Music, Lieutenant Kini Vava, introduces the program. This group of Fijian women are telling a story in dance and song. The Meke Sea Sea is danced standing up. And the Vagamalolo is performed sitting down. Officials and spectators get together and everyone enjoys their cup of tea. The Vitivo marching girls gave a display of one of our newer sports. Contrasting with the older Mekewesi. This spectacular spear dance illustrates traditional war action of a bygone age.
In the afternoon, events continue. Competitors prepare for the start of a 100-metre heat. Several heats are run before the final, which is won by Potha of New Caledonia. Many thousands of spectators of many races attended over the 3 days the athletics were held. This is the first heat of the men's 800 metres. Which was won by Navasolo of Fiji. Not all the starts were faultless. but no one was disqualified for 2 consecutive falls. The second man, Joyce of Papua New Guinea, later went on to win the final of the 800 metres. The starter was a busy man. He had up to 20 events a day to get away, such as the start of the 800 metres third heat. Won by Rokavesa of Fiji.
And this is the men's 10,000 metres, 11 competitors from 5 countries. In the early stages of the race, the competitors went slowly because it was rather hot. Several competitors didn't finish. Here they are towards the middle of the race, running fairly easily. And the last lap, Salekaleka of Fiji overtaking Mango of the Gilberts, who sprints back but cannot catch him. Salekaleka of Fiji running away.
As the medals are presented by distinguished guests or officials, the flag of the winner's country is raised and their national anthem played, while the spectators honour the occasion by standing in silence. Between events and practice, the athletes find time for relaxation, characteristic of their own countries. This is a group from the Cook Islands. The girls find that the basic rules of washing don't vary, and that a linen line serves to bring one's farm neighbours so much nearer. A regular bus service took people from the villages to the venues. resulted in the final score of 27-26 in favour of Fiji. This very fast game obviously delights spectators. Watching other people expending a lot of energy can be an exhausting business.
Men's 800 metres, they're off. Runners bunched together in the first lap. Navasolo of Fiji going out to lead the field. Here he comes towards the end of the first lap. Golaz, French Polynesia, coming up behind him. All striding out. Going into the second lap now. Navasolo of Fiji still leading. Golaz, French Polynesia second. And the runners closing up. The pace seems to be quickening now for the second lap. Here we are, the last. Joyce, Papua New Guinea, breaks. 150 yards to go, and it's Joyce. Joyce, Papua New Guinea, striding away from the field. Navasolo goes after him. Rocavessa coming after him, but Joyce keeps his lead, and he is winning. 2 yards, he wins, with Fiji second, third and fourth.
These timekeepers were locally trained to administer international rules. Various events take place simultaneously. From an entry of 15, 8 men qualified for the javelin event in the morning, though these throws did not count for the final. Wakilina of New Caledonia. Soliai from American Samoa is one of the qualifiers. Linga of Fiji. Eva Haria of Papua New Guinea. The throwing circle is an arc of 23 feet radius. This job demands 2 judges at the throwing end and another 2 at the landing end. Hurdles, of course, are made to be taken in one stride. In the 80 metres, the only distance for In the pole vault, Latu of Tonga makes 11 feet 6 inches look easy. Though the side supports are calibrated, measurement has to be taken at the centre of the bar before and after the jump. Wewa of New Hebrides. And Malatana of Papua New Guinea. Entertainment was organised, but plenty of time was allowed for the athletes themselves to set the pace, and many brought their traditional costumes and rhythms with them. The Western Samoans are rehearsing their knife dance for a Games Village concert. Popular group, the French Polynesians, obviously enjoy rehearsing their Tahitian island dances. Buckhurst Park, the attendance throughout the games was very good, with some 64,000 spectators watching the various events. In their off time, fellow competitors join the crowd ready to applaud any good performance. Miss David of French Polynesia puts the 9-pound shot. And Miss Naimoto of Fiji. For the men, the weight goes up to 16 pounds. As there were 13 entries, the preliminary rounds, or seeding, took place on the second day of the games, the finals 2 days later. Taitoa of American Samoa. Tokawa of New Caledonia. Kadusto of French Polynesia puts 35 feet 2.5 inches. And His Excellency presents the medals for the women's shot put to Turukawa of Fiji, Tetuaiva of French Polynesia, and Pur of Western Samoa. The hub of the arena, from where the arena manager directs his staff of won and eventually wins first place by jumping 6 feet 3 inches. The medals are presented by His Excellency the Governor. The triple jump at one time called hop, step and jump. The winner, Kadua of New Caledonia, jumps 46 feet 8.25 inches. The wind gauge is read for every single jump, for if the wind is blowing at more than 2 meters a second, the jump is wind assisted and cannot qualify for a record. The discus thrown here by Putoa of American Samoa weighs 4 pounds 6.5 ounces. And Miss Sulami Rakuro of Fiji is very well versed in the art of throwing it, as is Tokawa of New Caledonia. But this is a throw that wins the day. Nearly 162 feet by Rakuro. Mr. Common, the chairman of the organising committee, presents the medals. Six rugby matches were played with Western Samoa, Tonga and Fiji playing each other twice. The Fiji Rugby Football Union did all the preliminary work. Three of the touch judges were either of Tongan or Samoan birth, though they were now living in Fiji. And in private life, the officials ranged from a carpenter to a magistrate.
Western Samoa versus Fiji, and a kick ahead is gathered by Seru, the Fiji fullback. He tries to clear, but he's tackled. The ball's down on the ground, the Samoan forwards around. This could be dangerous for Fiji. And here, a kick ahead by Fiji is fielded by Kelly Tuatangalo. He sells a beautiful dummy, cuts inside two men. He's almost on the Fiji line as he's caught. And now it's very dangerous for Fiji. Scrambling play, Western Samoa trying to get it out to the left wing. And now a kick ahead by Bully. Chasing after it is Petero Resuisateki. The ball is gathered by Va'a. Va'a, the Samoan fullback, kicks left-footed, finds a safe touch. Kick for goal by Kelly Tuatangalo, gathered by Epim Bollard. Breakaway, kicks for touch. Chases up after that ball as he doesn't find touch. The two Samoans after it, they get in each other's way, the ball's on the ground. This could be dangerous for them, but the ball goes out to Ami on the right wing, and Ami finds touch. Saves the situation. Here, Eramasi Lovandua comes in at first 5/8 from the left wing, cuts outside a man, goes hard for that corner flag, and a beautiful score by Eramasi to make the final score. Fiji 29, Western Samoa 6. Each rugby team played the others twice. Tonga and Fiji are old rugby rivals, and here is the Tongan team coming out onto the field. 21 tests have been played between the two countries since 1924. The first game played in the rugby series between the two was very close, and this final match promises to be a stern encounter. Here's a scrummage, and from it, Isileli, a breakaway, kicks through for Tonga. It's gathered by Epinkuna, but Isileli tackles him beautifully. Down on the ground, Tongan forwards taking it on at their feet. This could be very dangerous. Gathered by Eramasi Lovandua in defence. He's holding on to that ball, and he's penalised for it. Holding on after a tackle. Penalty to Tonga. Kicked by Isileli. 3 points to Tonga. And here a line out on the Tongan 25, knocked on by a Tongan, but the referee plays the advantage rule. The ball has been scrambled through by the Fiji forward, gathered by Ula at half-back. Referee calls back for a scrum. And here beside Tongan, trying to battle his way through on the line. Throws the ball wildly out, gathered by a Tongan, but there's been an infringement there. Here from a scrummage, ball to Nemesio. Nemesio to Eramasi, coming into the line again, kicks ahead. Gathered by Lutu at full-back for Tonga. Lutu changes direction, kicks right-footed, finds a very safe. Here a conversion of a Fiji try by Josefa Saukuru, the Fiji captain. And the final score in this match, Fiji 25, Tonga 9.
Just before the closing ceremony begins, His Excellency presents the medals for this, the final event of the Games. As His Excellency the Governor declares the Games closed, we notice that the teams have intermingled behind those flags. What began as individual units has become one great integrated procession, with hardly a person wearing the tracksuit they set out with. A symbol of the barriers that have been broken and of new friends made. What started as an ambitious experiment has proved an overwhelming success. The future of the Games is assured. The flag which has flown as sentinel over the first South Pacific Games will be handed to French Caledonia to fly at Noumea over the next Games in 1966.